is episode 499, and today we're going to be talking about metanoia. And what the heck is metanoia? But before we get into that, do a quick review of last week's podcast, which were basically 13 life-changing questions. Now, I'm not going to review all those 13 because that's what that podcast was for last week. If you'd like to listen to all of those 13 life-changing questions, go back to the last episode and review them, or you could find that on warriormindcoach.com website and any place that you have your favorite podcast, iHeartRadio, iTunes, etc. But what I like to do is pick out 3 questions that resonated with me and that I got great feedback on for life-changing questions. What or whom did I make better today? When we can start the day with the intention of making the world a better place or making somebody help them improve themselves, we have a definite purpose in our living, and it can change our lives. Am I being true to my values? Well, this means that you have to know your values, and when we know our values, those can be life-changing when we really, really take time to reflect and figure out what's important to us. And what's stopping me from ... We have these dreams, we have ambitions, we have goals, and we keep setting them over and over again, or we make excuses. So what's stopping you from whatever you want to accomplish? So those are 3 of the powerful 13 questions from last week's podcast. But now, what the heck is metanoia? So, whether you decide to treat people with more kindness or you've made the decision to be happy, trying to understand the world around us can be a bit daunting at times. And as you go about your daily life, the decision to make responsible choices determines whether you will be happy at the end of the day. And the world we live in can be cruel at times and requires you to be well motivated and to have a clear purpose. So that purpose defines where you're going every single day. Well, metanoia comes from a Greek, or the Greeks would call metanoia, and this is the processing of focusing your mind on things that matter. There's so much distractions out there. There are so many distractions within our mind and external, but metanoia is that process of focusing on things that matter. So whether you're changing emotionally or psychologically in order to get where you want to be, the struggle will always be worth the effort. So whether you're physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually trying to change, that challenge, that complacent zone, it's going to be worth it. So the first thing you need to know about metanoia, and this is the concept, right, of focusing on things that matter, is learn to realize that when relationships have served their purpose. Most of us hold on to relationships that open or change our view of the world without realizing they have already served their purpose. Remember that love, however great it is, at first will not always necessarily last forever. And this could be a romantic love, this could be a friend love, but there's a poem out there about relationships, season, reasons, lifetime. And often we look at a relationship from the perspective it has to last a lifetime. Maybe it's served its purpose and we need to let that go. Often, because when we let that go, we can focus on what matters. But if we try to save a relationship that has served its purpose, it's not that it's bad, it's good, it's served its purpose, and when we can let that go, we can then focus on things that matter. The second thing about metanoia is don't let your past hold you captive. Oh my gosh. This is a big one for almost everybody. Avoid spending the present resenting your self-limiting and old beliefs that you've had. So we sit here in the present and we remunerate in the past about what we did, what our beliefs are, how we should have acted, and we miss the gift of the present. And we then are not able to focus on things that matter. Avoid judging yourself harshly for not figuring out sooner rather than later what could be done with much more of your life. When we start going back in time, I wish I would have, when we look back with regret, when we look back with sorrow, again, we're looking back, we're not in the present, so when we're in the present, we can focus on things that matter, but we are always in the past, criticizing ourselves, or I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that, then it just keeps us from focusing on what is important and what matters now. The third thing, it all comes down to you. Yes, realizing that you and only you are responsible for your life. Not your significant other, not your kids, not your parents, not the government, not this, not that, whatever it is, you and only you. And when you can take back that control, and this kind of underscores one of my principles of mental strength for successful living, you take the warrior or the victim. When you realize that you and only you are responsible for your life, you're taking the warrior side. When you say my life is a result of this person, this circumstance, my heredity, my DNA, my poverty, whatever else it is, when you start blaming or pointing to something else besides yourself, you are playing the victim. And nothing will give you peace of mind, whether it's job, money, relationships, or accomplishments, before you find this within yourself, meaning that you are responsible for your life. When you're responsible for it, you'll stop chasing the job, the money, the relationships, the accomplishments. You'll stop chasing all of that. And when you realize that you and only you are responsible for your life, and you and only you are responsible for your happiness, then that is part of self-mastery. And the decision to give all you have in the pursuit of this peace is the first step to enjoying the rest. So we have rest. When we rest, when you're out, for me, when I go up a big mountain or when I'm hiking, I'll go for a while, and then there's a struggle, and there's this pain with it and other things. But then when you rest, and I can find that rest. And so when you pursue the peace that comes from realizing that you and only you are responsible for your life, you're able to sit then and rest. The fourth thing about metanoia is love yourself in the most unique of ways. It involves motivating yourself to keep going, finding happiness in the face of adversity, standing up for yourself and your beliefs, finding the courage to admit when you are wrong, or finding the strength to pick yourself up when you fall. This is self-love. Most people think self-love is pampering, going to massages, bubble baths, all those type of things. And that can be an external self-love. But real self-love comes from motivating yourself, finding happiness in whatever you're doing, finding courage, taking up. You are worth finding happiness. You are worth standing up to adversity. You are worth standing up for yourself and your beliefs. You are worth all that. When we back down from any one of these, we are not truly loving ourselves. So love yourself in the most unique ways, and that is keep picking yourself up when you fall. Have the courage to go after what you want. Be determined. Stand up for your beliefs. Stand up for things. You may be right. You may be wrong. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you loving yourself enough to express your view and stand strong by it? The fifth thing, do not expect yourself to have a solution to every problem, because let's face it, you can't. It's so funny. As adults, when I coach individuals, and most of them are adults, for some reason, as we get older, we think we should know the answer to everything. Where that limiting belief came from, we're setting ourselves up for failure if we think we need to know everything, especially when it comes to a physical task, right? When we're young, we have these training wheels on our bikes, we get them, we go there. And then when we're older, when we try to ride a unicycle or walk a tightrope or do CrossFit or do something new, we expect to get it right the first time. We've never done these things before. And so, again, we're setting ourselves up for failure and resentment and not self-love. So don't expect yourself to find the solutions. Your willingness to try is what determines whether you succeed. It's not whether you get to the top of the mountain, are you prepared to try to climb it. If you stop at the bottom and go, I can't do it, I've never done it before, then that is where that's where you're not focusing on what matters. But if what matters is getting to the top of the mountain, at least give it a go. I know that Yoda talks about there is no try or try not, there's only do, but there's an action that has to take place. When you're stopped, you're not taking action. When you take action, you may not succeed, but you, on the other hand, you are going after what you want, and that's going to determine your success. Have faith in your beliefs tends to give us happiness, sense of direction, and peace of mind. So it's our beliefs, and this is where we can have some disempowering beliefs and empowering beliefs. I would say that faith in our empowering beliefs gives us the happiness, sense of direction, and peace of mind. The faith in our disempowering beliefs probably provides us with some frustration, disconnect, and aggravation in our lives. But trusting the process is the critical step into living our best life. That is, trust yourself. Trust the process. Know that you're not going to have every answer. Know that if you want every answer, you can find it, but you don't have it right now. The sixth thing, if you don't believe in anything, it doesn't mean that you are lost. And there's a saying that all that wander are not lost, and this is true here. Just because, if you don't believe in anything, we all believe in something. But this is coming from the Greeks, and if you don't believe in anything, it doesn't mean that you're lost. So we often have a lack of direction in our life. And really, we do have beliefs, but they may not help us focus on what's important. They may not guide us to our true north. So some of us try so hard to develop a passion for things that don't resonate us for the purpose of getting along with others. Fitness is a perfect example. There's so many great forms of fitness, and I'm a big proponent of CrossFit, and I have been enthusiastically telling people about it, and people will go try it, and they'll do it just to satisfy me. And we're going, don't do it for me, do it for you. If you don't like it and you like Zumba better, great. If you like structured workouts better, do that. Whatever that comes up to, just do what you feel will make you happy. Because we ought to go for the things that feel true to us while remaining respectful, kind, and objective to ourselves and others. And the seventh thing about metanoia is you are made, not defined by your struggles. So your struggles reveal who you are. They don't, they make who you are. They don't define who you are. When you get out of your comfort zone, you will begin to grow and soar to heights you could never, ever imagine. So you are made by the struggle. It's kind of like an alchemist. The fire turns the lead into gold. And sure, it's scary to step into the unknown and do things that you normally couldn't, but it's the first step that sets you up for success. So the struggles will make you. They don't define you. So if you have a struggle and perhaps give into it, you are made stronger because you were exposed to the struggle. It doesn't mean it defines you as being a loser. So the struggles make you. They don't define you. So that's the 7 big steps or the 7 big insights of metanoia. Next time, I'm not too sure again. I've kind of just been winging it and having a great time with that. To get the show notes on this and to find out more information, please visit warriormindcoach.com. And you can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest under Warrior Mind.